I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it, and I'm, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism or lockjaw? Dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing and gave it up, and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. So this is by Mary Oliver, and it's called I Worried. Love that little encouraging little quote. Welcome to Looking Up. This is a podcast for Christian women. I'm Kathy Holler. I almost said Kathy Moore. I'm Kathy
Forgot your last name again.
I know. And with me is Carla Moore. We're your hosts, and this is hopefully an encouraging weekly podcast where we just come together, have conversation. Today, it's just going to be a fun conversation from start to finish. We're going to have another favorite things episode, which we do every few months. So I'm looking forward to that. Carla, I think that color looks very good on you.
Thank you. What do you call it? Raspberry, maybe?
I don't know, but it makes your complexion glow.
Thanks.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I was just thinking about last week when I said, we laughed about this a little bit, that I was trying to quote our theme verse of Colossians 3:1-2, and I said, keep looking up at God, seated at the right hand of God. And, sometimes you just have to be embarrassed about things that you say, but realize that I'm sure everyone realized that was just a typo of the mouth.
It was just a misspeak. And I catch things like that when I go, you think you're saying one thing, and then you go back and realize you said something else. And I told you that I did the same thing because I was trying to share my favorite verse, Psalm 18:30. My mind just went blank, and I'm going, it says,
what's my favorite verse?
Yeah. Whatever I said anyway, I botched. So
well, I didn't even catch it. And you might not have caught mine. We catch our own when we listen again.
That's right. We're our own worst critics, right?
Yep. Well,
what's new with you?
Well, I'm just looking at this cutie little haircut that you've got going on. So you're gonna have to explain that. Turn around, let us see the back of your head, because I think the back is so cute.
Okay.
Yep. So tell us about your hair.
Yeah, it's never been this short in my life, and I never thought I would have done it, but I just get impatient and also impetuous at the same time, which is not a good combination.
Sometimes that can be bad.
So I've mentioned on here before that I'm ditching the dye and kind of got it cut short, and then I got it a little bit shorter the last time, and then it was just looking, I don't know, I just felt like I didn't like the way it was looking with the highlighted parts of the hair starting to turn a little brassy and dingy, and so I just woke up and thought, what if I got a pixie? And I spent a little bit of time kind of looking up different cuts and all. So anyway, I literally contacted my hairstylist the same day and said, can you get me in? And she did. So she cut it all. I was a nervous wreck too, let me tell you, because I thought,
when you feel that hair leaving your head, hitting the floor.
Just going in, I kept thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? It's going to look horrible, and I don't have the right face shape for this. All those thoughts. But I've gotten mixed reviews.
I'm just gonna say,
but
if my mama taught me, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's my belief. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty startling. It's, first of all, it's dark. My hair is so dark in the back, and but Neil loves it. And so that makes me feel good. And I'm actually loving the freedom of it, because I literally don't have to use a blow dryer. I don't have to use a curling iron. Yeah. I don't have to pull my hair back to work out or cook in the kitchen, I almost feel like a different person, just because so many little things that it affects that you don't think about, like even something like shaving in the shower. Yeah. I typically have the conditioner on my hair at that time, and I have to pull all my hair over to the side and hold my head a certain way so it doesn't drip down while I'm shaving, I don't have to, I just don't, I mean, the amount of shampoo and conditioner I have to use is minuscule. It's
Yeah.
just crazy. So many
So
things are
it's
different. So
good for your budget, good for
in
your
my
time.
budget. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cute. Mhm.
Thanks.
I'm just
Thanks.
thinking you know, you have this that looks like you can just do whatever, but you can use all kinds of products and make it do things that you want. And
Mhm.
so,
Oh,
yeah, it's really cute. I like it.
thank you.
You know, like the last time you cut it, I remember thinking, you know, when you pull your hair back after you've washed it to squeeze it,
Mhm.
now you don't even have to do that. You just probably shake your head and all the water's gone.
Yeah. It feels weird. I will tell you. It does feel weird,
Yeah,
but I like it.
good.
I like
I'm
it.
glad I do too.
Thanks. Thanks. Have you been thrifting?
I
I feel like I haven't asked you that in a while.
Yeah, I did. I actually have found quite a few things, but my favorite thing, I'm just going to turn my computer so you can kind of see it. It's that little green coffee table. Can you see it?
Oh, what a pretty color.
I know, I loved it. It's
Ooh, I do too.
when I was looking for a coffee table, an actual coffee table, I don't know, a couple of years ago, right before I found that ottoman from, you know, that I thrifted from Pottery Barn.
Mm-hmm.
This is the shape I was looking for because there's somebody that I follow on Instagram, and I can't remember the name, but my daughter-in-law, Erin, told me about her because I think they're members of the church somewhere here in Texas. But she has this big, wide, round coffee table with feet like this.
Hmm.
And it's just solid wood, and I just love the shape of it. And she also, that very same person, has this color that she paints everything. And it's I don't know, it's Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore, but it's called Pigeon. And it's
Hmm.
this color. It's kind of it's like a muted
Like a gray green.
green. Yeah.
Hmm.
And so it reminded me of her. Not, I don't love everything she does, but I do like that color, and I loved her coffee table. And it was $7.49. So
Oh,
I
oh
was like,
wow.
okay, can I put that in my basket and carry it out
Yeah.
or what? But I mean, it's heavy, it's solid wood, and I love the feet. I love the color. I love everything about it. I
Perfect
don't
for
know if
your
it's going to
little
stay there.
office.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
it's going to
say
stay
little.
there.
You have a big office.
I do, but some of my mom's things are fixing to come here. She
Oh.
has, I think I've told you about the table that I have in there was when my dad was 3,
Mhm.
their house burned down, and so my grandfather's coworkers put together some money and gave it to him, and they bought a hutch and a buffet and a dining table and all the chairs. Well, I have the table and chairs that I got after my grandmother died, but now she doesn't need that buffet and hutch anymore. So that I'm not exactly sure where the hutch is going to go, but the buffet is going to go against the wall here.
Oh,
So
nice.
that
Yeah.
was a long
That'll be
story to tell you
special.
that coffee table's not going to stay there.
Okay. We're
Anyway,
awfully good at telling long stories.
yeah, we are. We've done better. We've
We
cut back.
have.
Mhm.
We have.
It's like a
What else
diet
you
on our
got?
time. I was going to mention the. I know you saw it because I asked you, but in the group, you know, Leslie Hanby, she had mentioned that she liked the couple of things that I shared last week, the emergency fire
Mhm.
blanket and the choking, which I'm not going to
For
demonstrate.
gift ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she put this long post in the group. So if whoever's listening, if you're not in the group looking up with Kathy and Carla, go look. But this I thought was just, she had the best ideas for gifts for like
Yes.
your adult
Yeah.
children or
Mhm.
people that you just don't want to you don't want to give something that's not going to be used. So I just thought I would mention some of them because I thought they were so practical, so great. Things I would love to get. One of them was a gift certificate for a deep clean on the house.
Yeah. Nice.
I mean, who wouldn't love that? Like,
Yeah.
so, but that brings up, how would you feel if your mother-in-law were to give you a deep cleaning on your house? You know, that's kind of one of those, I don't mean anything by this, but I think you
Yeah.
might like it. You know, I would love it. I would
I would
love
too.
that gift.
Yeah.
She said that her father-in-law gave them, the daughters and their daughters-in-law, a gift certificate to practice shooting, a shooting range. She said something about one of those skylight picture frames, you know, that you can like email pictures to. And my mom's had one of those, and my Aunt Jean has one. And so all you do is send pictures to an email address, and
Hmm.
it comes up on their picture frame, and it just,
Hmm.
you know, it rotates pictures. She brought up she had one that says pick a bill and we pay it. I
That's
mean, I think
awesome.
that you have to have within
Yeah.
reason, because can I have you pay my
Here's my mortgage
for a year?
payment.
Yeah. But she said, my friend's parents did this and they paid a bill up to a certain amount. They paid hers and her husband's cell bill for the year. They chose the electric bill one year and they did that for 3 months. So I thought, man, that's, if you got a little more to spend, if your budget's higher, it
Yeah.
might be paying their electrical bill throughout the year. And I think when you've got kids growing up, your funds are short. So that would be fabulous. Drive-through car wash membership for a year. She said her mom is big on giving experiences. So she's done Dollywood season passes, aquarium passes, the Nashville Zoo membership. And she mentioned in a couple of things that a lot of Black Friday deals you can get like this. I love this one, an outdoor movie projector with a big screen. And so if you've got a deck or a porch or whatever, what a fun thing. So they gave them an outdoor movie projector with a big screen and a big Bluetooth speaker to watch movies. Gift cards to nurseries for landscaping. If they know that there's trips coming up, like if you're going to Disney or Universal or something like that, or an airline, or, they have all kinds of gift cards now. National park stamp books for those who like to do the national parks. So anyway, I think I might go back to the group and pin that post at the top. So anybody that wants to see that can see it, can find it easily. And while I'm thinking about it, thank you to, there's a couple of women I had posted in the group earlier this week. If someone who was willing to, as the podcast, if they're listening to it, they could write down notes of things that we say we're going to share. Because I know a lot of times, I've tried to do that, like jot it down when I'm listening, but a lot of times I'm driving and I can't. So that we'll share the things that, like I'm talking about now. So Lisa Morgan is one of them. And I knew I was going to forget the name of the other woman that did that for me. So you talk about something and I'll look it up because I don't want to miss that.
Well, first I want to say I like that picture that you can see on the wall of you and John. That's really good.
That was our 25th anniversary.
Okay, well, I have some random bits and bobs.
Nancy Tackett. That's it.
Nancy Tackett.
Nancy Tackett and Lisa Morgan. Thank you very much.
Yes,
that's going to be very helpful.
Okay, well, I'm still old school. I print my podcast notes off. So I usually have it, I just hang on to it for the week.
Yeah.
And the little things that I mentioned in the beginning that we might want to share, that's my little reminder thing. But sometimes we're talking and we'll say, we'll bring up an article or something. We'll go, we'll try and share the link.
Yeah, and I forget
about it. We forget about it. So Neil and I played tennis over the weekend. It's only the second time that we've played since we've been here. So we never even got to actually play in a game. We just kept
hitting it back and forth.
Yeah, we just we kind of did that thing where you're counting how many times you can volley back and forth, and see if you can go longer next time. Because we were so rusty, and we kind of waited until the hotter part of the morning to get started. And we also played right after we ate. So anyway, none of that was really working in our favor. So we played for maybe 20 minutes and then decided, let's just go for a walk. So we walked 3 miles in the park, but it was
when
fun.
You told me you were at a park?
Yes. And then I have been, all the stuff's coming in from the garden. So here's
that's pretty.
This is the first start of the hot sauce. So I'm taking our jalapenos. I froze a lot of them, but making hot sauce, the first thing you do is grind up all the peppers with salt and garlic and let it sit out for a couple of days. And then you add the vinegar and stuff. And let it go for another week. So I've got all these little summertime projects going on in my kitchen and sitting on my counter. And I both love it and hate it.
What do you hate about it?
It's a lot of work. It just is. And if I've got the time, it's kind of a fun way to spend the day. But a lot of times I just feel that I see this mound of tomatoes on the counter and I'm going, I need to do something with that before I lose them all, So this is that time of year when it's just all happening really, really fast. And I'm always thinking I should be doing something with that.
It's also the time of year where there's VBS and camp and all kinds of summertime
activities.
Yeah.
And we had a little bit of an adventure a couple of nights ago. Neil and I were sitting in the living room. We just finished up dinner And I look up, and Peaches, our cow, is looking in the window at us.
On the porch?
Not on
Or
the
was it on the
porch.
side?
It's the north side of the house. So she's standing outside the window of our
So
house.
she got out.
Yes. And I went, oh, Neil goes, what? And I'm going, Peaches, Peaches is looking in the window. This is only
She
the
just
second.
missed you.
This is only the second time that's happened. The first time it happens when we very first got her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so skittish and she didn't know us. And it took us a while to get her back in. And I'd always been saying to myself, at least if that ever happens again, she loves us. She knows us. She rubs her head all over. It was awful. It was not that way at all.
She saw her chance for freedom and she was taking it.
Carla, it took us over an hour.
What'd you do?
We couldn't get the rain things over her
halter.
head. We couldn't halter, thank you. We couldn't do that. We took out a big thing of grain to try and tempt her, which she would nibble on for a little while until we got close enough to try and, get a hold of her. Anyway, it was awful. And she acted like she didn't know us. We'd walk up to her and she kind of back away. And I kept saying, you want me to call Jeremy? You want me to call Jeremy? Should I text Jeremy? And Neil kept saying, let's give it a few more minutes.
Yeah. Leave Jeremy alone.
Yeah. So but it was awful. And we're not even exactly sure what happened. We think because we have electric fencing, we think a part of it must have sagged, and I have seen her charge before. When she sees a deer on the other side of the fence, she charges. It's almost like head down running. And then I'm watching her thinking she's going to plow through the electric fence. But at the very last second, she stops. So I don't know if something like that happened and she did plow through. I really don't know. But
how did you end up getting her?
Neil just very patiently walked her, because we don't have an open part of the electric fence back there. And he had to very patiently just keep tempting her with the grain, and we kept refilling it, and walking her all the way around the front of the house, all the way around till we got to the gate part, and then get her in. But it took forever. I mean, it was tedious because she'd stop and I had to try and stay behind her so she wouldn't like run toward the road or the neighbor's house, and there were moments in that whole fiasco that I thought, bye-bye, Peaches.
Yeah, she was going to run for the road.
I'm done.
Oh.
We are not cow people. We don't know what we're doing. I'm fixing to have to call the neighbor and say, if Peaches shows up in your yard, I'm sorry.
Well, all's well that ends well, right?
Yes. But anyway. Oh, on another note, I think I mentioned on here before that my favorite coffee is that, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget, Toasted Southern Pecan by Cameron's. Well, Hillary Hammer gave me some last night. This is just called Southern Pecan by the Southern Grind Coffee House. It's produced in Tallahassee, Florida. It smells amazing. I had it this morning. It was so good. But last night when she gave it to me, you can smell it through this little vent in the bag. I was squeezing it. Church. People in the pew behind me were passing it back and forth, and not during church, but smelling it. It is really good.
Does it taste like pecans? Does it have like a little
really
sweet layer?
doesn't. Like none of that Texas one was the first one that I tried, and now I've got the Toasted Southern Pecan, and now they all smell really good, but they don't have a strong flavor. I kind of don't
Maybe it's roasted over pecan wood or something.
It could be, because I don't really want like a flavored coffee.
Yeah,
but they're just real smooth and balanced, and I really like it a lot.
Good.
What else you got?
I was going to show you this little thing, and I posted in the group. If you're watching, you can see it. It's a card. You can put your business cards in it.
Is that leather?
But I posted a link to it because it was free from KMM Leather Company.
Oh.
It smells wonderful, like all the leather. And it's got this suede leather on the inside. But it was free. And I think they just try to tempt you with their, to try out their leather stuff. I had to pay shipping and handling. So it was like $8, something like that. But you could use it for other things. So I just wanted to show what it was, because I posted it in the group, and I don't know if anybody paid attention or saw it, but it's just a neat thing.
Need
and
one
it was
of
free.
those.
Yeah, I think you do. So they're still doing it, and I'll try to remember to, well,
Yeah.
if we have our friends that are letting us remember, helping us remember what we're going to post. I just wanted to mention that. Also, have you ever used the oven ready lasagna noodles before?
Yes. Hmm.
What do you think about them?
I mean, they're fine. You can do it with regular lasagna noodles too.
You can?
Yeah, you don't have to buy the special ones.
Hmm.
You can just use regular lasagna
Why didn't you tell
noodles
me that yesterday?
layered in the lasagna. You don't
You
have
have
to
to have
cook
extra
them.
liquid?
Not really.
Well, I would have liked to have known that yesterday. I made lasagna yesterday with those oven ready noodles, and
Hmm.
I mean, it was good, but the texture was different. I like a little bit of bite in the pasta,
Hmm.
and it was just kind of like it didn't have any bite to it. And when I say bite, I don't mean flavor bite, but like
Yeah.
al dente. I was
Yeah.
just
I
curious if you'd
don't
ever used
buy
those.
those. I think a long time ago I tried them and wasn't impressed. And then I found
Mhm.
out that can you can do that exact same thing with any kind of regular lasagna noodle.
Well, I'll try it again with just regulars because I wasn't too crazy about it. But it sure did cut out a lot of the work making lasagna
Yeah.
to not have to boil the noodles.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to mention that we got mom moved in. I think the last time we talked was the day
Hmm.
before. So it's been a week today
How's
since
she
we've got her
liking her new
moved, and
digs?
she's adjusting very well from
Hmm.
what I could tell. Anyway, it's a big adjustment,
Hmm.
and just a lot of feelings associated with it. For I think almost think more for me. I don't know why, and I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure there's more for her, but she's not voiced them. Although I feel like she tells me how she's feeling.
Yeah.
But it just I've noticed a lot of things, and I told you some of these. I've noticed that it's not just a new era for her. I feel like it's kind of a new era for me, but it has made me remember what she did when my grandmother was there.
Mm.
And she was there from I want to say 2000 until 2014, something like that. And mom was she made the most of her time. You talk about someone blooming where they're planted. And grandma, she had Alzheimer's when she moved there. So she didn't really know a whole lot about what was going on. So it was really more, I think mom made more of an effect on the staff and the residents at Hill Country Care than my grandmother did, 20 something years ago.
Hmm.
And because mom organized a Bible quiz, and she would go around
How
to the rooms
fun.
and she would gather people in there into the main room, and
Hmm.
and she spent a lot of time putting together the questions for the Bible quiz.
Hmm.
But she knew all the staff's names, and she knew the
Yeah.
residents, and she knew what they liked, and she would bring them little things. And I remember one time she made a friend out of a woman who was an atheist. And I think someone who does a Bible quiz, you would think that the woman who was an atheist, and she was a very private, quiet woman. As I remember, she didn't really let me in. I remember
Hmm.
visiting her a couple times, and she just didn't want to be friends. But mom managed to do that with her. So anyway, while I was thinking about that period of mom's life when she was helping her mother, my grandmother, adjust, and now it's like my turn, and I feel like,
Hmm.
what am I going to do
The
to help?
challenge is before you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I want to make mom feel comfortable, but I want to make sure that I'm trying to do what I can for the people that are there and the staff, and learn their names and what they like, and how I can help. And I didn't really think about that before mom moved in. Of course, it's just been a week, but
Yeah.
I didn't think of how things are going to change for me, I guess. And it also reminded me that, so my grandmother died in, I can't never remember exactly. I want to say somewhere between 2012 and 2014. And it wasn't too long after that my dad started showing signs of dementia, and we've talked about some of that as well. But he had some kind of an incident. It wasn't a stroke, but we thought it was a stroke that sent him to the hospital. And then from the hospital, he went to Hill Country Care. It's
Hmm.
now called Hill Country Nursing and Rehab. But at the time, see how I can condense this. At the time, it was, financially, mom didn't know how to handle all of the Medicare and Medicaid and all of the things that go along with that. She didn't know what she was going to do, but because mom had been such a help and had made herself, I don't even know how to put it. She was a helper and a volunteer, and they loved her because of the things that she did there. And because of that, they helped her with that whole process of admitting dad and helping to figure out the money part of it. And I've just thought in this past week how God blessed mom in that way when she was at a loss of knowing what to do for dad, because she had been active there at Hill Country Care. I hope that makes sense the way I'm saying it.
Yeah. It does.
And now here she is, and there's a couple of people that still work there that worked there when grandma was there. And she's just, they've been there a long time, but she's really, I love watching her because she's already kind of launched into this caregiver mode with her roommate. That's her, she blooms where she's planted. So I'm just, she has taught me a lot of things in my life, but this is one of the things that I think I have learned more about from her, is to adjust and to bloom where you're planted, for lack of a better way of saying it. So anyway, I hope she doesn't get mad at me for sharing some of that personal stuff. Maybe she won't even hear it. So I'm safe.
I'm impressed with you for, first of all, recalling your own mom when she was in your situation right now and how she handled it, and then taking up that in your own heart and seeing the opportunity for you to do the same thing. I'm just impressed that that's what you thought of. That's where you landed.
Well, you would have
it's
too.
a good example for all of us.
Well, you're sweet, but you would have done the same thing. It's hard not to remember this. It's the same halls. She knows that place so well, which I think has helped because she knows it like the back of her hand and already did. But it could be a really, really, really hard time, and it is in some ways, but it's not nearly as bad as it could have been if she hadn't adjusted as well as she has. And I know it's still a struggle, but
we will keep praying for her. We will keep praying for her.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But that's all I have, chit chat wise.
Well, I saved the best for last.
Okay.
I have news. I have personal news.
Things that you haven't told me?
Yes. Haha.
Surprise.
Neil and I may have mentioned this to you before, I don't know, but Neil and I, for a few years now, have been talking about starting our own publishing company. And we did it.
That's pretty big.
We did it. This is something that it keeps coming up, and we keep saying, oh, we're going to do this. We had told the kids about it, so we could all kind of work on it together. And as of Monday of this week, it's all official. We have our business company's name, the LLC. The first book, Lord willing, should be ready in a couple of weeks.
You going to tell us what it is?
Yes, I am. It's Neil's. He wrote, it's called In His Line of Work. And I'm not just saying this because he's my husband, but it is so good. And it takes a look at Jesus and his ministry, his public life, his private life, how he dealt with people, all that kind of stuff. But it really is kind of turned into this family affair because Neil wrote the book. Gary acted as the editor. He's really good at all the grammar.
He did some of that already, didn't he?
Yeah, and he also is the one that set it up in the form that it's supposed to go in for a book. Dale designed the cover. It's incredible. It really is. And then Carl was kind of Neil's beta reader, going through and saying, can you beef this up? Can you make this more personal? Can you draw out more application here? So they've all
had their hand in it.
Yeah, had their hand in it. But anyway, it's such a good feeling because it's just one of those things where we're like, well, one of these days we're going to do this. And it's called Life in Favor Publications.
So well, that sounds familiar.
Yes. So I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Ask for prayers about it. It's very scary. All these things come up that you weren't expecting and that are involved with it. And you're like, we have to do what?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know where to start asking questions.
yeah. Well, we still have a lot to learn, I'm sure, but we're
Yeah.
very excited. And I'm excited for Neil. This will be Neil's second book. He wrote Rise Up and Build several years ago. So this is his second book. I'm excited for it to
Well, when will it
debut.
come out?
Well, like I said, I think they're finalizing the back copy, and the printer that we're using said it'll all be ready in 2 weeks once it's all finalized.
So
So
you have, it's not that you're printing, you're not self-printing, but
we're not printing. Yeah, we have some, but we're doing everything else.
Okay. Well, I guess that's what you're gonna have to tell me later what exactly it means to publish a book or have a publishing company.
Okay.
All right. Well, congratulations. That's
you.
exciting.
Thank you. All right. Anything else before we get started?
No, I guess I could say we're gonna go get Emmy tomorrow and have her for a few days. So I'm excited about that.
Oh,
just
that'll
Emmy.
be fun.
Yeah.
Good.
That's it.
All right. So we're doing favorite things. And I thought it was kind of funny because, we've done this a few times now, so it's getting a little more challenging.
Yeah. Like looking around my house. Do I have any
that
more?
were my favorite things are still my favorite things. But it was funny as we were going around, I was seeing things that I want to discard. Things that I thought I really wanted, things that there was all this hype about that I went and got, or things that I finally invested in because I thought I needed it. Found out I did not like it. It did not work. It did not live up to the hype. And I kind of thought at some point we need to do our least favorite things episode, just so maybe we can save people the trouble of,
that's a good idea.
Don't believe all the ads. This is not the miracle bomb that you think it is, So maybe we'll do that at some point. But for now, I'm going to start because this really should have been shared in the news part of it, but I wanted to morph it into a favorite things. The first favorite thing that I'm going to share is Ministry League. I don't know if some of our listeners have heard of Ministry League, but you can go to ministryleague.com and read all about it. But I don't know how to describe it exactly, except that it's a bunch of great resources. Podcasts, they have an app, they have a YouTube channel. Excuse me. When you go to the website, you can check out everything that they have to offer. They have a bunch of different people involved with it. Caleb Sampson, Dale Jenkins, Jerry Elder, Lori Boyd, whom we've mentioned on here before. We love the way she writes and speaks, and she's the really cool. We're not jealous. Not at all. Lori Boyd is the director of the Ladies Ministry Connection Group at Ministry League. But the exciting news for us is that they have taken our podcast and put it on their app. So Looking Up is now on the Ministry League app, and they've taken the audio of our podcast and put it on their YouTube channel. So I wanted to share it as one of our favorite things and ask everybody else to check it out, but also just express our thanks to them for thinking of us, for finding value in what we have to offer. And I'm grateful to them for wanting to share Looking Up with all the rest of their great content. So
we use Ministry League app on our trips. We always ask everyone, and I don't even know if I've told them this. Before the trip, we'll usually send an email, you've got to read these 24 points before you go on the trip. But one of them is to download the Ministry League app because they have a songbook on it.
That's the one I use too.
Yeah. And we use that when we're maybe singing on the bus or in a location. We can just tell everybody to open up Ministry League and find whatever song we want to sing. So I kind of embarrassed to admit that I didn't know that they had all of the resources on there that they did, because I thought it was something else. So I learned a lot. And when you mentioned this earlier this week, I went and looked and see what all they had. It's a great resource.
Yeah. All right.
That's a good number one.
Yes, it is.
Okay. My number one is, it's not necessarily my favorite, but it's the one that's on the top of my list. And it's ironic because you're ditching the dye, but I have not yet. But I use Madison Reed.
Yeah, I love Madison
for the
Reed.
color. They just have it. to me, it has more depth to it, and it's not so
Mhm.
much of a, you don't have just a solid color. You have, I don't know, there's no highlights, obviously. I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but it just has more depth and texture to the hair. So they have the regular, what you can use to do your whole head of hair.
Mhm.
But you can also get this root touch-up kit, and it just comes in this little box. And it comes with two touch-ups, two applications, but it comes with just basically all it is just a small amount of the normal color that you use. And it has a little bowl and the little brush that you can kind of see here. And you mix it up, and all you do is just cover your part, and they call it the T-zone, right around your face. And then it kind of makes your dye job last for another 3 or 4 weeks. So you kind of have more time in between the whole head application. So it comes with the the gloves and the little cleansing wipe and the shampoo that they like for you to use after you use their stuff. So
which smells good. It smells good too.
Yeah. Madison Reed, it's just they call it a root touch-up kit. And it costs a little bit more than what you would find at the grocery store, but I just feel like it looks more natural. It just, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it looks a little bit better than the like Clairol or L'Oreal or whatever. So
yeah, when I used Madison Reed, I used to use their touch up. That was it looked like a blush.
Yeah.
With
a brush.
You pick the one that matched your color, and it had and you would just kind of brush on your little touch up color. But it's a one-time use thing.
Yeah.
You'd have to do it every time. So.
Yeah. Well, the last time I just did my part and my temples, but then I don't know if I ever sent you this picture. I showed it to Mom this morning. When you lift and look at your hair underneath, I had like an inch on either side. And I thought, here I am, well on my way. I could ditch the dye, but like we have talked many times about it. And John says, oh, I really like it like that. And somebody's in the group said something about, not being tied to culture standards. And for me, it's not that. It's not about looking a certain way for the culture. It's just about what John likes. And some people might think that that's sexist or whatever. It's not. I like for him to like the way that I look.
Yeah.
And I'm not really worried about others. So anyway, that's my number one.
If you're not ready, you're not ready. And when you are, you'll know it. And you're making me think back to when I would try cause I always thought I had way more gray hair than I do, because it seemed like as soon as I colored my hair, there they were.
Yeah.
But if I tried the root touch-up route, it looked fine where I did it. But if I went outside and the wind blew my hair, it's like tells on you,
Yeah. And I found myself holding my hair down at PTP outside. I was like, wind's blowing.
How's it going?
But it is what it is.
I don't have a headache. Why do you ask?
Just put a hat on.
That's right.
I wish I was a hat girl.
I wish I was a hat girl too. I cannot pull it off. Either. Okay, mine. Are you done? Okay, my second one is what I mentioned when they had the Prime Days. I told you I would order it. I ordered an under eye brightener. Yeah. This one was recommended by somebody that I follow on Instagram, and everybody was commenting under it how much they loved it. And so I went ahead and ordered one, and it was cheap because it was Prime Days, but it's cheap even if it's not. But it's called, I actually really like it. It's called Under Eye Brightener. You probably can't see that. I don't know how to do the influencer thing. That's when it.
There you go, right there.
I did it at the end. Okay. It's called Instant Awake, and this is in the shade 101 Light Rose, but it's real smooth.
Okay.
I feel like such a poser. And a tiny little, I've used it probably 5 or 6 times since I ordered it, and a teeny tiny little bit goes along. You just barely tap it with your ring finger, and it just kind of makes you feel more fresh and brightens things up a little bit, and dab a little bit in the corner, maybe a little bit at the other side of the corner. I really like it a lot, and I really like the price point also. So
do you wear foundation?
Uh, not really.
So you don't
I
feel
have
like,
two things that I switch back and forth with, and one of them is that tinted moisturizer
Mhm.
that I like, and the other one is a tinted sunscreen. So it all depends what I'm in the mood for. Sometimes I wear the tinted sunscreen, sometimes I wear it's like a bronzer moisturizer thing.
Yeah,
I actually don't have a regular foundation.
yeah. Well, I was looking at pictures of myself from a couple weeks ago and thinking, ugh, I mean, I just feel like I have the dark circles and stuff, but I don't wear foundation. All I wear, I'll put powder on sometimes and maybe
Mm-hmm.
some eyeliner and always mascara.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just a little hesitant to use the under eye stuff if I don't like balance out the rest of my face. And I just don't want to start down that road. I think maybe it's a mental thing for me, but if I don't want to be afraid to go out somewhere if I don't have all
Mm-hmm.
my makeup on. So I just don't want to start that. But I also don't want to look like I'm
Well,
lacking sleep or whatever.
I will say that's what I like about this one is because it's kind of a pale pink
Mm-hmm.
and it sort of just dissolves into your skin. I've tried, concealers and under eye things and stuff like that, and I feel like I can always see it and it settles into my fine lines and wrinkles
Mm-hmm.
there and it does look like you're putting on maybe a lighter shade of foundation and I never can make that look good.
Yeah.
So I end up not wearing it. But this one is so easy and like I said, you just kind of tap it on there and it kind of just disappears into your skin.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll try it.
Yeah, we'll
Maybe
share
you can
links.
link it next week.
I will. Hey, there's an idea.
Yeah.
What you got?
My next one is a restaurant, and I have two restaurants, so you can tell where my mind goes. But this one is called Chicken Salad Chick. Have you ever eaten there?
I have not.
Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So I want to say that the first time I heard of it was from one of my sons. And, chicken
Interesting.
salad
Yeah,
from one of my boys.
that seems kind of frou-frou, Carla.
I know. But, and I'm kind of picky about my chicken salad. Like, I don't want raw onion in mine. I just don't like that crunch in it.
Mhm.
So, chicken salad chick, I was a little skeptical, but then you go and they have like 10 different kinds of chicken salad. And there's fun names like there's Buffalo Barkley, and that's one that's like has buffalo wing sauce in it. There's
Mhm.
one called jalapeno holly, and there's lots of jalapenos in it. There's one called Kickin' Kaylin, and that's funny because I'm thinking about Lynn Height and her granddaughter named anyway. Squirrel, my mind went somewhere, but it's a combination of buffalo sauce, ranch, bacon, cheddar cheese, jalapenos, and sriracha sauce.
Mm.
And then they have Classic Carol, which is just, kind of a classic chicken salad. Olivia's Old South, which has pickles and egg. There's Lauren's Lemon Basil, which, you can understand has basil, but
Yeah,
it also has chopped pecans in it.
that one
And I
sounds
love
good.
lemon and chicken. Yeah.
I do too. Yeah.
Dixie Chick, that's the one that has all the onions in it. So I don't like that one. But my favorite is called Sassy Scotty. And it's got some ranch in it and some bacon and shredded cheddar cheese.
Mm.
And then there's a barbecue, which is barbecue flavored. But they have there's
There's
seasonal
no
ones.
curry.
No curry chicken salad, no. There's
What?
Fancy Nancy that has apples in it. Fruity Fran has Fuji apples, seedless grapes, and pineapple, cranberry Kelly. So they have fruity nutty, they have traditional, they have savory, they have spicy. But when you order, you can get like a full sandwich and a side. And they have this broccoli salad that's amazing. They have soups that are really good.
Mhm.
You can choose to get it on regular like wheat berry bread, or you can get it on a croissant. And they have kids meals. You can get the little container and take it home. Like it's, I don't know, 3 inches deep, 4 inches square, that serves like three. You can make 3 sandwiches out of it. So you can not only get you a sandwich, but you can get some to go. But I just really like it. And in the bathroom, I think this sign they have them in more than one in the women's bathroom. There's a sign up there that says, if your husband or boyfriend brought you here today and you have a question about how much he loves you, let us put it in perspective for you. There are plenty of barbecue joints in the area. He's sitting here amongst a sea of flowers, women, and salads. Now get the broccoli out of your teeth, feel gorgeous, and have a great day with that rock star. So I just think it's funny
Cute.
that I thought maybe it was just in one of them, but then I went
Mhm.
to another one and they had the same sign in there.
That's cute.
So anyway, it's just it's a little restaurant. It's a chain, and there's several in Austin. There's several in Fort Worth, Dallas area. There is one in Colorado Springs. So I know that it's not just in Texas, but I
Okay.
haven't looked to see what all locations. But I highly
Yeah.
recommend Chicken Salad Chick.
We definitely don't have one in Bowling Green.
Well,
But
I'm not
maybe
too surprised.
Nashville does.
I bet Nashville has them.
Yeah, we can check.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
My stomach started growling while you were
Well, it is
reading that,
nearly noon.
and I skipped breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Okay. My next three are going to have to do with the kitchen, so fair warning. But my
Okay.
next one, I'm so excited about. It is a silicone popcorn popper. Do you have one of these?
No. How fun.
Well, so I mentioned before that Neil and I are doing Weight Watchers now, and if you have popcorn that you make without oil, if you air pop it, it's 0 points.
Yeah.
And so I tried to make it on the stove top without oil, but you really have to keep shaking that pan to make sure the kernels don't scorch. Well, Dana Simpson told me about this. She had one, and I ordered it like while we're having the conversation. I was like, hang on, I pulled up, ordered it. It is so amazing. Look, first of all, it collapses for easy
Nice.
storage, and then it opens up like this. All you do is put a quarter cup of kernels in there, and then this floppy little lid sits down on top of it. It like fits down inside there. Stick it in your microwave and hit the popcorn button. That's it. And then, so we've kind of figured out how we like to eat it. We spray it. We have olive oil cooking spray. So we spray it with that. We also spray it with a little, I can't believe it's not butter spray, and toss that all around with some sea salt. And it is so good. So it made it so convenient and easy, and
I love that it collapses too.
It collapses, and it comes in different colors, and you can wear it as a hat if you want.
It's a little fetching on you there.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'll be getting one of those.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's
assuming
cheap.
not very expensive. Yeah,
it is not expensive at all.
Good. Okay. All right, my next one is a feature on the Google app. Have you ever used Google Lens to search for anything? And I don't have my phone. I don't know where it went, but it doesn't really matter. On the Google app, if you look at the opening screen, at the very top, it has the little search bar where you type in what you're searching for. Do you use Google very much?
I search for things, yes.
I mean, I use it all the time. But so there's the search bar, but at the end of the search bar, there's like a microphone that you can say what you're searching for, but there's also it looks like a little lens, like a little camera. So you can just open the Google app, hit that camera, point it at something that you're trying to figure out what it is, whether it's a bush or a flower or anything. I've used it so many times, and it will search, and then it'll come up with whatever it is. So I use it a lot if I'm at Goodwill and I'm trying to determine the value of something or what it is, or like this is such an unusual thing, or like if it's a rug that looks like a Pottery Barn or whatever. I hit the Google Lens and it searches, and then if it is, it'll come up to the Pottery Barn website and show me what rug it is, tells you the name of the rug, which is helpful when you're listing things. But this was what my most recent thing that I thought was fun. So I have a friend, her name is Sarah Mingers, and she lives in College Station. I've known her for years, but I love everything she always wears. We have the same taste in clothes and purses and things like that. So I guess I was scrolling Instagram one day, and she was at some function, and the dress that she had on, I was like, I love that dress. So I did a screenshot of her. If she listens, I don't know if she listens, but if she does, she'll be surprised. I took a screenshot of her in the dress, and then so you can go to your Google app and you can go to that lens, and it'll give you the option of scanning a picture. So you can insert the picture into there, and it found that dress the
I
very
don't know
same
how I
dress.
feel about this. I don't know. This is borderline creepy because
Okay.
I'm just thinking, what if I don't want people to know where I shop? You know, what
Well,
if
you're gonna have to.
not that this would ever happen? What if I was wearing a dress and then you were like, "Oh, that is so cute," and you Google lens me, she got it at the bargain hunt.
I would only think you're smart for shopping at the bargain hunt.
I've never bought a dress there. I'm just saying, there. I
Yeah.
mean, I see potential none of
Yeah.
your business kind of stuff going
Well, I mean, I don't know. Possibly. But like if it's a dress you
on.
made or if it's
Yeah,
something, it's not guaranteed that you're going to find it. But this one
yeah.
I did.
No, that is cool. That is
I
cool.
found the dress and it's a dress that they don't make anymore, but I found it on Poshmark.
Oh, oh.
So,
Did you get
yeah,
you one?
I did. So I haven't worn it yet, but sometimes you see something you like and you're like, okay, I
Huh.
like that dress. And
This could be dangerous. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
it could be because I have used it like that before. I'm like, oh, I really like that. Where'd it come from? Not,
Hmm,
she's the only one I've ever done it on a person,
yeah.
but at, like at the store and
So you could
you
do that with
can
people.
have a clone somewhere.
No, I'm just saying. If you don't know who somebody is,
I don't know. I've never
could
tried
you
that.
take their picture and Google lens it?
I'm gonna have to try that. Don't know. See, that's the creeper coming out in you. I
I
hadn't even
know. I'm
thought
thinking
about
of all
that.
the possibilities.
No, I just look for dresses. I'm a completely innocent person. But that feature, it is very helpful when you
Uh,
want to know what a plant is or what a vegetable is or what in the world am I eating or things like that. It's very
yeah.
helpful. So it's
Mm,
the Google Lens.
okay.
I like it.
I'm gonna try it out.
Don't creep on anybody.
Okay. So I said that my next ones were going to be from the kitchen, and honestly, they're all Weight Watchers related, and that's because we're having to change some things up and learn some new things, and it's been kind of fun. And my next one, I don't have it with me because it's a frozen item,
Mhm.
but it's frozen cauliflower rice or riced cauliflower. Have you ever tried that?
I did once and I didn't care much for it, but I probably didn't spice it right.
Well, the trick is how you cook it. And I've never tried it because, first of all, ooh,
Yeah.
I don't like cauliflower in general. You know, I'll
Hmm.
eat it, but I'm not crazy about it. I like the way it smells when it's cooking. But I kept running across all these recipes that called for cauliflower rice. And I finally thought, I guess I'll try it again. So I looked at tips for cooking cauliflower rice to make it taste like rice. And there is a trick. And a lot of times, the directions will say something like you can steam it in the microwave. A lot of them even come in their own little cooking bags and stuff like that, but that is not good. But what you can do is put a little bit of olive oil in the skillet and then dump it in there frozen. Don't thaw it out. Dump it in there frozen, spread it in a layer, and just leave it alone. And then after a while, when it starts to brown up and crisp up a little bit, then, take your spatula or wooden spoon or whatever and start giving it a stir. Well, then it tastes like stir fried rice. It kind of makes it lighter, fluffy, airy, crispy. And we put it in a bowl, with stuff on top of it. And you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell that it was cauliflower. So now I only bought that one bag because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. Well, I went out and got some more because now I can feel like I'm getting carbs in my bowl, and it actually tastes good. So,
I'll take your word for it. And I suppose that using a lot of bacon grease would kind of defeat the purpose of the whole cauliflower
oh,
rice.
yeah, yeah. I literally measure out the olive oil because, points.
Yeah.
Drizzle it in a
Well,
pan.
they probably have perfected it a lot more since the last time I tried it because I probably steamed it in the bag and then wanted it to taste and feel just like rice. And it didn't.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this actually turned out good. And
Okay.
there's all kinds of like one of the recipes I jotted down is Cajun sausage cauliflower rice.
Okay. And you'll share the recipe.
I mean, I haven't tried that one yet, but
Um,
there's it looks good. It looks good.
yeah.
But there's
Well,
like
see.
fun, you can do fun things with it. So
Okay. Good deal.
Okay.
You done with that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my next one is a projector clock that the
I've
first
seen
time,
those.
oh,
Is
it's
it the
great.
ceiling one?
Yes. The first time I ever had seen one was at Gary and Michelle Massey's house, and I thought it was fabulous because we don't like bright clocks, the kind of beacon in the middle of the night. You're like,
Yeah, we don't have
I don't
one.
know. Yeah. So this one that I found you can turn that part down that's right next to the bed, and you could still see it barely, but it projects up onto the ceiling a red time, and you can make it big, or you can buy the ones that have bigger numbers. So if you don't have your glasses on in the middle of the night, but it's less intrusive than a regular clock with the blue light or whatever. And also, if you don't want to know what time it is, because sometimes you wake up and you're like, if I find out that it's only 12:30 and I feel like it ought to be 7:30, it feels like it should be morning already, then you don't have to look up and see it. But that's kind of been a game changer for me, because I don't know, I just really like it. It's been something that's been helpful. I like it.
Yeah, I can see how that would be really good because Neil just uses his phone alarm clock, and I wake up a lot now, which is a new phase for me. And I'm always wondering, should I hunker down and try and go back to sleep, or is it close to time to get up?
Right.
And we have a regular clock on the wall, but I can't see. It's not lit up or anything. It's just literally a regular, what is it called, analog or something clock. So I can't
have
see
a
it.
backlight.
No, there's no light at all. I can't see it. It's just a wooden clock on the wall. I can't see it at night. And I don't really want to lift up my phone and have that phone light,
Right.
So I can see how that'd be pretty handy.
Well, I don't know which version of the iPhone you have, but the more recent ones, if you put it on Do Not Disturb and then lay it on its side, it comes up with a clock. And if there's light in the room, it'll be a blue clock. But if it's dark in the room, it's red. So it's not nearly as bright. So you just have to make sure it's on Do Not Disturb. I think there's a setting in your under settings that says, I'll find out and share it next week. But I've used that when we're traveling and don't have a bedside clock. So it's not big, it's just the size of your phone. So
yeah. Did not know that. Well, thanks.
Okay.
All right.
Next.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay, so this is the last Weight Watchers thing I'm going to bring up.
I like them.
My all-time favorite drink has been San Pellegrino Limonada. Still is. Did you know that drink is 8 points on Weight Watchers?
How many calories is it?
It has 120 calories. And it doesn't taste overly sweet to me. So I was so shocked. So obviously I've literally had one since we've started this thing.
Yeah.
So I had to find kind of a replacement drink, and I finally settled on Fresca, which has been around forever, and I've never really drunk it, but it's kind of close. It's first of all, the can is very similar. It's a little smallish. It only has 7.5 ounces, but it's a grapefruit citrus sparkling soda water. 0 calories, and it actually tastes pretty good. So I was happy that I found something that makes me feel like, because I don't drink them all the time, but I always drink one with dinner. I would drink a San Pellegrino with dinner. So now I have one of these with dinner instead.
I guess I thought San Pellegrino had no calories, but
if it's just the sparkling water, it doesn't. But they also have the flavored ones, like limonada is lemon, aranciata is orange. And they have like some kind of sweetener in them, some kind of sugar in them, because it's 120 calories for a whole can.
Yeah.
But
good to know. It's always good to find those. To me, one of the best things about Weight Watchers is just learning what is heavy on calories and fat, and what you can replace. You can all of the free things, the 0 points, chicken breast or eggs or whatever.
Yeah, I think
it makes you choose better. I think that's what it does.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned last time that I was consuming my daily points just in milk.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even include my San Pellegrino at a whopping extra 8 points.
Yeah.
So I was drinking all my calories and didn't even know it. So
yeah. Yep. It's eye-opening.
It is.
Okay. My next one is my part of my morning routine. It's the New York Times games on. They're just little quick games like Wordle. Wordle is one of their morning. Well, consider it morning because I do it in the morning. But there's more than just Wordle, and I didn't know that until just recently. So Wordle's fun, and that's my favorite. But then they have, I want to say 5 or 6 others. A couple of them I don't do. Sudoku. I have never learned how to do that. I tried again this morning and I was completely lost. Like I'm trying to add the numbers and you're not supposed to do that. It's placement or something, but it's like I have a mental block. So I don't do that one, but they have one called Spelling Bee. And it looks like honeycomb. You've got like, I want to say 8 letters, maybe 7. And you make words out of those letters, but you have to use the one in the middle in each word. And there's always at least one word that you can make out of all of the letters. So I like word games. So Wordle, Spelling Bee. There's another one called Connections, and it's a square divided into 16 quadrants. So there's 16 words, and you have to figure out there's four groups of 4 that have something to do with each other. And I should have screenshot the one this morning, but you have to figure out what goes together. Like it'll say I can't even think, but some of them will not, it doesn't sound like they make sense, but it'll be like one of the words will be porky, and one of them will be daffy, and one of them will be whatever, and then you figure out, oh, they're names of cartoon characters, so you click on those 4. And then you get that point. So you have to group them in groups of 4, which as I'm describing it does not sound fun at all, but it is because I like word games. And then there's another one that's Strands. It's called Strands, and it's like a word search, but every letter on the board is used. It'll have like a theme for the day. This morning was all that jazz. And so all of the words had some kind of theme of music. And one of them was like ragtime. One was, I can't remember. It's been several hours. But anyway, it's just the New York Times games. You have to create an account to be able to play all of them, but it's free. So I just use one of my junk email addresses so I don't get a bunch of spam from them. But that's part of my morning routine is to get up, fix coffee, and play the New York Times mini games.
That must be what Amy Dickerson does, because I've never even played Wordle or anything like that in my life. I just don't do computer games and stuff. But at camp this year, she was in the kitchen also all week. And every morning, those exact puzzles that you described, every morning she'd pull up and we'd all huddle around her phone and try and figure them out. And so it must be that she has that same subscription. Yeah, it was fun. So. Yeah, it was fun.
I enjoy them.
Yours are always like cool techie things, and I'm going, here's my silicone popcorn popper.
Well, I was looking, see, I'm not done with mine yet, and some of mine are very not Weight Watchers, so you can see where my mind goes.
Well, Neil and I started doing crossword puzzles together every morning, but it's old school. It's literally a great big book of crossword puzzles.
Yeah, I love those too.
And sometimes we feel really smart because we blaze through that thing. And sometimes we're both like, I feel dumb. I'm going, okay, skip that one next.
Yeah.
Okay, skip that one next.
Come to do the word down and maybe you have a hint.
Yes, exactly. Okay. My next one is a book, and it's not a new book. It's actually an old book. You probably have it. It's called Those Who Wait by Rosemary McKnight.
I don't.
Well, the subtitle is Learning How to Wait on the Lord in an Impatient World. And this is the book that I've mentioned on here recently, that Kim Moyers is doing a weekly Bible study with some of our ladies, and I've been able to sit in there with her, and this is what she's using and to like launch off of. So she gave everybody in there a copy. She gave me this copy, and I've heard of this book before, but didn't even realize that I didn't have it. But it is so good. It is so good. Everything in here is like, just goes straight to your heart. It is so practical. And it's, even though it was published in, I think, the 80s, 1989, Gospel Advocate. It's just timeless. I mean, it is not in the least bit outdated. It's so relevant. It is so good. And now I want to go back through here with a highlighter and,
Yeah.
just go through and hit some things. And Those Who Wait by Rosemary McKnight, Learning How to Wait on the Lord in an Impatient World. Highly
Cool.
recommend.
Okay.
Good
to know.
for personal study or a ladies study.
Doing
or
a
to go
chapter a week in that study.
We're not going that fast.
Okay.
We aren't. You could.
Mhm.
Or if you know somebody who's struggling, this would be a beautiful little encouraging gift for them.
Good. Good to know. Never heard of it. Okay, which of my foodie ones am I going to do next? Okay, I'll do this one. It's a purse, and anybody that knows me knows I have a thing about purses, but it's something that I got for the last trip because I wanted something that was smaller. You know me, I tend to be a big purse kind of girl, and I want to be a smaller purse. But this one it's a sling. It probably looks kind of big on the screen there, but it's about
Is it gray?
no, it's like light denim blue.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a sling, a crossbody, and usually I don't, I'm a big purse girl because I have a lot to carry. I have a lot of John's things to carry, really. And I tend to just get the kind that are short to go over the shoulder, but this is one that goes over your head, and I wear a crossbody style. And I got it for the trip because I wanted something less. The backpack that I've been using, I was having to take it off, unclip, unzip, undo it. And I just wanted something simpler than that. And I saw this one and I thought, that looks like it could work. And I loved it the whole trip. So it's got side zippers that you can, it just fits like your sunglasses or your hand sanitizer or whatever. But the thing that I like the most about it, one of my pet peeves, and I realize what a shallow person I am sometimes, but one of my pet peeves is digging in my purse for anything. I hate that. I don't know why, but like my keys or chapstick or whatever, I hate having to go searching for it and rifling around. So this one, it's shallow. It's about 8 inches tall, but when you set it down in your purse, on your lap, and you open the zipper up all the way, everything's right there. Like you can take your wallet out and then everything you can see, it's right there. So I tend to kind of flop around in purses and go back and forth to the ones that I it's like I'm never satisfied, which that podcast you sent me this week that said clutter is the evidence of what was it? Clutter is the evidence of dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
And I thought, ouch, that hurt. But purses for me, like I never just stick with one. I have, of course, I don't spend a lot on them. I go at Goodwill or wait till there's a great sale or I find them on Poshmark.
Where'd you find that one?
This one is, it's called, the brand is Latico, Latico, or maybe it's Latigo. I'll find out. But they have a website, and of course they're more expensive there, but you can find them all on eBay or Poshmark or one of those used places. And they're almost always like new because people just get tired of them, whatever. But you can adjust. There's something about the way it falls on me. It doesn't usually, when I wear a crossbody, when I walk, it flops, bangs against me, and I don't like that. But this one just rides exactly on the right spot. And I feel like, it's kind of dramatic to say, but I kind of feel like I found my purse. Like, this is it.
This is a momentous occasion.
It is. It really kind of is, because there's always something. I really like this one, but I really like that, but, and there's nothing that I don't like about this one. So,
well, you know that other item that you and I are on the hunt for that shall not be named. So I'm counting on you to find that also.
I tried, and I gave a suggestion, and then I had to back out because
yeah.
No, it's your turn to find one of those.
All right. Okay, my next one is a hair product. It's called Coconut Curls.
Okay, I've seen that.
Yeah, and I've been using this for a few years now, and I love the way it smells. I love the way it feels in my hair. It doesn't build up, and all. It's supposed to be for curly hair, but I only have wavy hair and I used it in my hair, but it's frizz defying curl styling milk. Drench your curls. It's got coconut oil, sweet honey, citrus oil, enhances natural softness, boosts decadent spirals, tames frizz for beautiful tumbling waves with bounce and shine. I wouldn't say it did all that, but I keep going back to this. It's just one of those things where like I hear about a product and it's really expensive and but it's supposed to be really good and I'll try it and I'm like, and I just always keep going back to this same thing. And even though my hair is short, I'm eking out a teeny tiny little bit and rubbing it in my hands and running it through my hair. And it's just one of those things where this is all I put in my hair typically. And if somebody comes up right after I've washed my hair or whatever, they'll say something about my hair smelling good. And this is what they're smelling. But anyway, it's not expensive. It's the brand is that OGX. But coconut curls, frizz defying curl styling milk.
Okay, 2 questions. Number 1, is it leave-in? You don't have to rinse it out?
It's leave-in conditioner.
Okay, that's a check mark for me. And number 2, does it smell like sunscreen, like summer sunscreen? Coconut?
Not really. No. I mean, it's faintly coconut.
Because I love sunscreen smell.
I do too, but it's not
like Hawaiian Tropic.
I do too, but it's not quite that smell. But it does smell. It does smell really good. So this is when you say you've towel dried your hair and it's still damp. You put a little bit of this in there, comb it through. That's all.
Okay. So I don't condition my hair every time I wash it. But I'm always looking for a good leave-in because it just takes too long to wash and condition. Okay. Is that you done?
Yep.
All right. My next one, all I'm gonna say, it's gonna be really, really short.
Okay.
It's very self-explanatory. And then we can move on to the next one.
Okay.
All it is Bluebell ice cream, cookies and cream cheesecake.
Oh my goodness. What in the world?
Okay, that's it.
Oh, Carla.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we had the kids over the other night. Oh, that sounds so good.
You can have a spoonful.
Yeah, we had the kids over the other night. And Sam's has these ice cream treats that are Oreo. Some sort of Oreo ice cream bar on a stick kind of thing. They're so good. And I said, I asked Neil to pick up a box on the way home, but get a small box, like just enough for all the kids to have one and for us to not have any. Well, they didn't have that kind. And he ended up bringing home drumsticks, Oreo drumsticks. I love drumsticks. Yes. So it was like the cone itself was a really rich, dark brown. I don't even know what all is in the inside, but the topping was like an Oreo crunchy chocolate covering. I mean, it was like the most amazing creation. Oreos and drumsticks got together and he brought that home and I was like, what?
Did you see how many points they were?
I think he did. Look, he's like, you should go ahead and have one. It was in the teens. It wasn't as bad as you think, but it was in the teens, which is more than half of my day's allotment. But anyway, everybody's sitting around talking about how amazing those things were, and I'm licking my fruit popsicle, sugar-free popsicle. Well, this is delicious also. I'm liking this. I'm liking this mixed berry fruit popsicle.
You look like a frog. Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's really not that good.
I'm happy. I'm happy for you and your Bluebell.
Well, I've been doing the intermittent stuff, and so I can have some like right before I quit eating for the day. But I probably should quit eating that. I don't buy it like unless we were having company yesterday, so I bought it for the company. I probably should have let it sit out so it would go bad, and I won't be tempted by it. But
okay, well, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
My next one is a game. It's called You Can't Say And this
would
is
be impossible for me.
I'm telling you, those listening, if you're not in the Facebook group, you need to, because this one was recommended in the Looking Up group on Facebook. So Hannah Copeland originally posted something. I don't remember what all she was asking for, like a devotional study book and games and that was weeks ago. And then just a couple weeks later, somebody chimed in with another one, and it was this one, and that was Michelle Johnston recommended this game, so I ordered it right away. The kids came over, we played it. It was so much fun. It's hard. You don't say you can't say or
None
any
of the
kind of
filler
filler words like that. And then there are these additional rules that you get to pick 3 of them for the opposing team that you lay down along the board. And when you get to that point in the board, you also can't do that in addition to not being able to say and it might be something like words that start with a G, or like the word like. You can't say that. Or it's all kinds of random things like that and so it builds. So once you hit that point for the rest of the game, you also can't say words that start with a G
so you really have to think before you speak.
Yes. And then at the very end, you're in the danger zone, and not only the person giving the clues can't say or ah, but neither can your teammates when they're guessing.
Sounds great.
So yeah, so people I think are either going to love it or hate it. Like Carl, for instance, didn't even want to play, and you really do need to have somebody who serves as the judge because it can get heated. So he was the judge, which made him happy.
That's appropriate.
But yeah, but like Gary loved it. He wanted to play again, and Chelsea's going, I need to go home because I have to get up early and go to work, but it was fun. I have to say, it was hilarious. Yeah. So describe weird things without hesitating.
So they're weird things. So they're
what it is there's 2 different piles, and you pull one from one pile and one from another. And the first pile is a descriptive word, and the second pile is a noun. Sometimes they go together, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And when you're given clues, you have to do this descriptive word first before you do the noun for them, and then they put them together. So it's fun, and it goes by fast. So I like that too.
Yeah, that's right up your alley. Okay, my next one, and I know we need to probably hurry up.
Yeah,
is something that I have. It was a something good for you, but I feel like it deserves another go round of me recommending it because I wear this pretty much every day this summer. Those skirts that I mentioned several weeks ago, and they're just the brand is called Annie Vivo, Anivivo. Just got it off of Amazon, and they're like $25, so they're not expensive, but I just wear them just about every day because you can get their solid colors: navy blue, black, tan. I think there's others that I just have those 3. I can't say they're 21 inches is the length. So to me, for the height that I am, they're perfect for me. They skim my knee. They have zipper pockets, although not every color has a zipper on it, but they have deep pockets so you can carry lots of different things in them. They the shorts underneath don't ride up. Sometimes the shorts in a skirt will ride up, but they don't, and that's a big deal to me because you want them to be comfortable. But they're just for the summertime. I tend to wear skirts just because it's cooler and I like it better. But the skirt to me is a level of comfort more because, if you fell down, because people of a certain age fall sometimes. Not me, but some other people do. So I'm just doing this as a favor for them. But I just feel more secure in a skirt than I do in a skirt. So anyway, I'm going to say that
last time you shared that, I put a couple in my wish list, but I haven't purchased them yet.
I love
check that out.
Yeah, I love them. I'll share a link next week.
Okay, my 9th one is a personality.
Is a what?
A personality. It's somebody to follow. And I sent you one of her videos. Her name is Diane Schiffer. She's the most adorable 67-year-old woman. She has like an impish little smile, and she always has cute things to say, and she just potters around her little house. I really don't know what it's all about. I just know that every time it shows up,
she's cute.
Every time it shows up, I catch myself, like, when you like kind of catch yourself in the moment, a lot of times you're going scowling or whatever, but I catch myself like smiling and watching her. But she describes herself as a chubby vintage Nana. She has almost 1 million followers. She has been invited to the White House.
Wow.
She doesn't even know how that happened. She walks around in her little house coat with her little, what do you call those glasses that have the,
Horn rim.
yeah, horn rim glasses. A lot of times she has hair curlers on and a scarf over it. She is always smiling. She also has a Pinterest page, and this is how she describes herself: a seamstress, a muffin maker, a Jedi enthusiast, a friendly introvert, and a Jesus lover. So anyway, it's just Diane Schiffer. Look her up, Chubby Vintage Nana. You will not regret it. She's adorable.
I feel seen.
She's adorable.
Okay. Yeah,
And she just has these cute little things to say. They're like little motivational things, So
well, a chubby vintage Nana that really knows how to influence on the internet. So
yes,
she must have some really tech savvy intellect, or she's got grandkids who are helping her know what to do. She's being herself, and maybe somebody else is filming her and telling her what to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of debated on this one.
Same for my last one. So this will be interesting.
So is this my last one? 1, 2, 3,
I
4,
don't think so.
5, 6,
It'll be my
7,
last
8,
one.
9. I have one more after this. Okay. So next to last. It's a drug.
Oh, is this going to get censored? You know how long I have to wait for the YouTube censoring?
Seriously? It's not any kind of illegal drug, no illegal substance, but it's something that makes, I feel like if I have it in my purse, I don't know, it just relieves some anxiety, and I'm building it up, and it's really not that big of a deal. It's Zofran. And it's an anti-nausea, anti-vomit drug.
Okay.
And it's prescription, but the first time I didn't know such a thing existed until about 5 years ago. And Aaron and Jordan came to Denver for a lectureship. And when they got there, like a day later, I had the first stomach virus I'd had in 25 years, probably. Probably the kids brought it with them.
That's the worst.
Well, so I won't go into any details, but Erin, my sweet, precious daughter-in-law, she had them from being pregnant. She had one Zofran. And since then I have learned, she and I share this. If we get Zofran, we're going to hoard it and keep it and not share it. But she had one left and she gave it to me. That was like,
that's true love.
It's true love. She was my favorite person in the whole wide world that day, because I was feeling rotten and nasty, and just that nausea, which is I think must be part of hell, is nausea. And when I took that, it was like the heavens opened up and angels started singing, and I felt normal. It was. So Zofran, you have to get it from your doctor, and it's not, I talked to my doctor last year, just asked her, would you give me some of that as a not like I'm taking it, but just in case I need it. And she said, oh, absolutely. Yeah, because of trips and things. She said, there's no sense in having to suffer through that feeling, and that when there's something that helps. And there's something else, and I can't remember what it's called, that they gave it to me when I was pregnant years ago, and it did nothing. But Zofran is the real deal. It's something that I like to keep. I think you can take one every 6 to 8 hours.
I mean, the prescription itself, how long is it good for?
I want to say a couple of years, but I don't think that they might decrease in effectiveness. I'd have to ask Shannon Ketchum, but they don't go bad. They just probably decrease in effectiveness. So I keep one in my wallet, and it just makes me mentally feel better. Like, I don't know why, but I know if I have that, I'm like, okay, if something happens, I won't have to be nauseated. So I hate that.
Good one. All right. So my last one, I also debated on whether or not to share this, but if you have children listening with you in the car or in the laundry room or wherever, you might want to pause this episode and save this part for when they're not around.
Oh, wow. Where are we going with this?
It's a book. and it's called Sheet Music. Let me see that.
Heard of it.
There we go. Sheet Music. And this one I think was recommended. I first heard it recommended by Trey and Lee Morgan, but it's Uncovering the Secrets of Sexual Intimacy in Marriage by Dr. Kevin Lehman. When Neil and I went to premarital counseling before we got married, Donnie Hillier did our counseling for us, and he told us to read the book Sex Begins in the Kitchen. I don't know if you've heard of that one. It's also very good, but it's the same author. Okay. And I'm not sure when this one came out, 2003. But so Neil and I have been married for decades, but we've decided to go through this book, and we just took turns in the mornings. He would read a chapter, then I'd read a chapter the next morning, then, out loud while we're together. And then we kind of talk about it and stuff. Now, let me say this first. It is very blunt. So it's going to use words and cover things in here that if you're not married, you probably don't need to be reading.
Okay.
And even if you are married, you will probably blush. It's just very straightforward, but very tastefully done.
So PG-13 or R?
R. I mean, there's no pictures
R
or
for
anything.
married couples.
R for married couples, but he talks about very specific things in a sexual relationship in a married couple. He also talks about things that hurt the sexual relationship. He talks about bringing in like the way that we grew up and including our relationship with our parents or how things were handled comes into the bedroom, whether we mean it to or not. Our birth order affects things in the bed. I mean, it's so interesting. But anyway, even if things are great, I recommend this book because as long as Neil and I have been married, this had us having conversations we've never had before. We talked about things we've never once shared or discussed, not because we were hiding them. We just never thought to talk about it.
It's not something you bring up. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was so good. I mean, the reason I'm sharing this is because when we finished it, we were both like, I kind of wish that we had had this 30 years ago, when we were first married. It would have been so helpful. And we ended up buying copies for each of our kids. Yeah. We were like, you're going to hate us, but we got you these books. That's
just what you want from your parents.
Exactly. You don't have to tell us anything, but but it really is, I think, a great resource. So there you go. If you're engaged,
wait till
maybe wait until you're married, but put this on your list of things to do together when you're first
I've heard
married.
of that, but I've not ever read it. That's a good resource.
And I actually think I think the author in here says that you should wear it. You should read it before you get married. But I'm just trying to picture myself unmarried and reading some of these things.
Yeah.
I just don't know that that'd be smart.
Yeah.
Because.
Just because. Leave it at that, right?
Yeah. Yep. There you go. I'm done.
Okay. Now I've got to follow that up with something really dumb, but it's really good. It's another restaurant. You can tell I'm on the food today, right? It's Rosa's. Have you ever eaten at Rosa's?
No.
Don't know if it is outside of Texas, so it's maybe in Nashville. It's like Taco Cabana. You have one of those? Know what that is?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Sorry.
Think of Taco Bell.
Okay.
Go up.
Okay.
And that's Taco Cabana.
Okay.
But go up from that and Rosa's Cafe, and I think it's Cafe and Cantina, but it's a chain. And we don't have one anywhere close, although, I mean, there's one in Austin, but it's probably 45 minutes away. And so we don't go there, but there's one about a mile from Jake and Melissa's house. So every time we're there, we're going to eat there. They just have good Mexican food, but it's on the, it's not like homemade, but it's really good chain Mexican food. They have a big open area behind glass where they're making tortillas. So they're homemade tortillas, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
But their fajitas are probably some of my favorite fajitas, which is a pretty big deal. But you can, there's tacos, bean and cheese tacos, and then they have a salsa bar. So when you go inside, they have this big bar that has like red salsa, green salsa. They have chopped onions, chopped jalapenos, chopped cilantro, lemons, limes, some just plain red sauce. And trying to think what else is there. But
sounds good.
Yeah, it is really, really good. So if you have a Rosa's Cafe and Cantina nearby, you should go check it out.
Yeah,
You should see if there's one in Nashville.
I would love to go check it out. It's hard to find a good Mexican place, I think.
Well, there's lots of good different.
Here.
Yeah, true. There.
You're in a good location.
Yeah, we have lots of hole in the wall, really good, Tex-Mex, good stuff. But this is not, it's not Tex-Mex. It's pretty bland, but I like that okay sometimes too. Rosa's Cafe.
Rosa's Cafe. Good one to end on.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to add before we wrap this up?
Nope.
All right.
Need to wrap up.
That was fun. We probably went a little longer than we needed to.
Yes, we did.
Fun.
Nobody's surprised.
We will share all of these links on the Facebook group, Looking Up with Kathy and Carla. Also, for those of you just joining us for the first time, just to remind you, we do not profit in any way from sharing any of these things. We do not get kickbacks. We're not sponsored. We're not affiliates. None of that. We just like sharing it for the fun of it. That's how we roll.
Yep. We're just nice that way.
We're just nice that way. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Carla, until next time.
Keep looking up.
Love you, friend.
Love you too. I'll see you later.